Yo guys, what is up? Plus here, and welcome back to another video. So in today's video, I have a pretty good story for you guys. It's just a story about one of the funnest nights I have ever had in my life. But I'm just gonna hop straight into it. So this took place in the summer, and I was up at this resort, and my friend called me probably like the second to last day that I was about to leave, and he was like, yo, I'm coming to visit. I'm gonna bring a bowl. I'm gonna bring like 5 grams of weed. It's gonna be chill. You wanna come? And I'm like, yes, I would like to come. So he actually ended up getting back to the town that we all live in like one night before I did. So I get back and it's probably like 5 o'clock, and I called my friend on the phone and I was like, hey, I just need to let my phone charge for a little bit and get some shit out of the car, and then I'll be ready. I'll call you. And he's like, alright. So about 10 minutes go by, and my mom is like, your friends are just like standing in the driveway. And I was like, what the fuck? So I walk back to my room, call him, and he's like, yo, I'm in your driveway right now. And I was just like, oh my god, I told you to wait. And it was just retarded. So I walk out, get my friends, and we start to walk to this park. Now, in this park, there is a ditch that runs through it. So if you walk up the ditch, it kind of leads into a neighborhood, and there's this really chill spot to smoke. So we walk up this ditch, we sit down in this spot. My friend takes out his bowl and a gram of this Bubba Kush that was fire. But anyways, he puts it into this bowl. He hits it, passes it, or no, I think I got first hit, but it doesn't really matter. Anyways, we all hit it, we finish it, and then we start walking to my other friend's house. So we get there, and I'm just like, I was very stoned, and both of my friends were too. They were fucked up. We were all fucked up. So we get into my friend's room, and we're like, hey man, what's up? And he's like, nothing. And then we just sat there for a minute, and then his 2 older brothers walk in, and they're like, oh, hey guys, do you want to go to the park with us? And we were like, yeah, we'll go to the park with you. So we start to walk out to the car, and I was like, wait, why are we getting in the car? The park is like right down the road. And they're like, no, we're going to the other park. And I was like, oh shit. So I go to get into the back of this little tiny pickup truck. There's like 2 feet of space behind the passenger seat and the front seat. And I go to get in, and the guy is like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm getting in the back. And he's like, nah, you gotta sit in the bed. The little kids are coming. And out of nowhere, these 5 just like random little kids walk up and like hop into the back of the truck. So there's 4 of us laying in the bed of this truck, and the oldest brother's like, alright, I'm gonna get you guys a blanket so we don't get pulled over or something. So he runs in the house, comes back out with a quilt. Like a quilt that could probably cover a 5-year-old child. And he's all, here, put this over yourselves. And it went over like 1 person, barely. And it was just so fucking hilarious. But I'd also like to point out that in the bed of this truck, there was like this box of, like, the only way that I could explain it is like just huge paper towels. Like just a box of like massive paper towels. And it was cardboard and everything. So my friend's head is just like resting on this box, and his head was sticking up out of the bed of the truck, and they were going so fast down the road that this blanket like blew up in the air and totally wrapped around this kid's head pretty much. Like there was a tiny bit of it covering us, but like most of the blanket was just wrapped around this kid's head. So we pull up to this stoplight, and this guy pulls up in a school bus and looks down into the bed of the truck and sees my friend, and he just gave him the weirdest look, and then he just like drove off, and all the kids in the bus were just like cracking up laughing at us. So we finally get to the park, and it was pretty cool because I just watched my friend's older brothers do parkour, and that was, I guess that was pretty fun to watch. But then we ended up going back to my friend's house for dinner, and we were sitting there like eating and shit, and then we finished, and to be honest with you guys, there's probably like an hour-long gap of like I just don't really know what happened, so I'm just gonna skip over that. So we ate, and then we were waiting to smoke, and then like at night at some point we were smoking, and that's the next thing that I can remember. So we were sitting there, and it was pretty late. I think that it was probably like around 9 or 10, maybe 8 at the earliest, but yeah, it was definitely like nighttime. And we were sitting at this park, and there were 4 of us. So my friend takes out the rest of his weed, or my weed, sorry. He takes out the rest of my weed, loads it up into a bowl, we smoke it all. Then he takes out his weed, which was this strain called Bruce Banner, I think. And he loads up some of that, and then we finished that, and then he loaded up a second bowl of that shit, and then this other kid loaded up a bowl of this strain called Strawberry Cough, and we were sitting on the swings, and my friend is just randomly like, dude, I don't know where my phone is. So we like run back over to where we smoked, and we were just searching for this kid's phone for like 20 minutes. So finally we find it, and my one friend, who was basically probably the most lightweight out of all of us, like it probably hit him the hardest out of everybody, was kind of just like sitting there like really quiet, and I was like, hey man, are you feeling it? And he's like, no, I don't think so. And my friend takes out his phone, turns down the brightness all the way, and holds it like a foot away from this kid's face. And we all look at his eyes, and they're pretty much shut. It was so hilarious when he held the phone screen up, and my friend was just like squinting so hard. But anyways, we were sitting at the swing set, like I said. My friend lost his phone, and then we found it in like the sandbox by the swing set. So my one friend gets a call from his brother, and his brother is like, where the fuck are you guys? So we tell him where we are, and then he like pulls into this parking lot in this middle school across the street and tries to do donuts, and he like couldn't do it. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but he was just making like a sharp turn. He wasn't actually doing donuts, and it looked like the car was just gonna like roll 1,000,000 feet. Like, it was just gonna tip over and roll like 100 feet out into the road. But he stops, and he's all, get in the car, we're gonna go in Ding Dong Ditch. And I was like, okay. So I was sitting inside of the car this time, and my other 3 friends are sitting in the bed of the truck. So this kid would drive up to a house, pull over him. All my friends would get out of the bed of the truck, run up to the house, ring the doorbell, and then just run back and get in the bed, and we would like speed off. And to be honest with you, it really isn't as fun as ding dong ditching on foot. But after a while, we kind of stopped, and my friend's one brother gets out of the car, and he's like, to the other brother, he's like, hey, drive. I'm gonna hit every house I can until we get to this street, and then stop and pick me up. So we take off to the street, and I look in back of us, and this kid is just like ding dong ditching every single house he can, just like sprinting through the yards, ringing the doorbells. And so we finally get to this street, he gets in the car, and we drove to our high school. So we we drove to like this back parking lot kind of by like the football field, and my fucking brother's friend just like rides up onto the field and does a donut, and he was like a foot away from hitting the light post. It was so fucking scary, man. I had a heart attack pretty much. So then they park and they're like, you guys want to ding dong ditch on foot? Because there was a neighborhood like literally 100 feet away probably. So we walk over to this neighborhood, we ding dong ditched one house, and then we had to run through this field back to the truck, and my one friend just like drops. Like, we're just sprinting through this field now to nowhere, this kid just like drops, and it was so funny. So we're like, are you okay, man? And he's like, yeah, I fucking tripped. So then we get back into the car, we go home, and I got some strawberry frosted mini wheats. It was probably the best thing that I've ever eaten in my life. And then this kid, so it was me, my friend, and this kid all like kind of sitting on this bed, and we were kind of like lounging on it with our backs against the wall and our feet out, and my one friend was just like laying across the foot of the bed, and we were like, bro, change the channel. And he's like, no. And then my friend just kicked him in the head, and he like flew off of the couch, or not the couch, but the bed. It was so fucking funny. And he gets up, he grabs the remote and just like chucks it at my friend, and he's all, here, you asshole. It was so fucking funny. And then he had this butterfly knife, which the blade was dull as fuck. It was a pretty shitty butterfly knife, but he like tried to stab my friend with it, and it was the most retarded shit ever. But then we actually ended up going out and smoking like a bowl of strawberry cough and a bowl of this stuff called Primus. And dude, that shit fucked me up, man. Like, more than anything else that night. Like, that one bowl just got me. Or those two bowls just got me. It was so fucking bad. And I remember just laying in bed, like, with the biggest smile on my face, and I just passed out. And then I woke up the next morning, and I went home, and I chilled. This has been Plus. Peace the frick out.